Alrighty, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode and live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. Like I said before, we're gonna hit these live streams pretty hard just so I can have some backup videos and stuff. And yesterday we worked on trying to get it so that we can get the feed loaded properly, and we ran into some issues after we worked on a lot of SQL. I did some experimenting this morning, and I think I have a fix to at least one of our issues, and we can go through and kind of work on the other issues as they pop up. So we're gonna make some changes here, but before we do that, as always, I'm Ethan, no coder. If you guys want access to the private repository, there's a link in the description down below that walks you through exactly how to do that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop straight into the Java code. I want this stream to be a little bit more short and sweet. That way I can just get some rest so I can hit it hard again tomorrow. And we'll kind of see how Friday and Saturday go. So we need to make some changes. We found in the last episode that we can't really call this special function that we made. So inside of our dbeaver, we made this function and it does some stuff. But what we can do is we can actually take this select statement and bring it into our code as like a string and then call it in there as a native query. So that's what we're going to do. So first I'm going to go ahead and grab this to update, and then that should be fine. That way we can go ahead and continue updating. This is going to be false. We can go ahead and save that, and that's good to go. Now inside of our post repository, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to say string, and this is going to be feed underscore query equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and go into our dbeaver. I'm going to copy this entire select statement. So select all the way down to here, where we have the order by, and copy this guy. And this is going to be our query. We're going to paste it in here. So let me go ahead and do this and do this. And then we also need to get rid of this guy, I believe. Now, everywhere we see ID, I think we need to change this to colon ID. So this needs to be colon ID. And let's see, are there any other IDs? So I know there's a couple of them in here. So this one should be colon ID. This one should be colon ID. I think there's another one in here that I missed whenever I was just messing around. That, and then the session start should be colon session start. So now we can do inside of our native query. Now this is going to just be actually feed query. So we're going to go to this. We're going to say feed query, and there's going to be another issue. So for the time being, we're going to set this as a list of posts. We're going to make some changes. We're going to change this back to local date time, and we're going to save this, and we're going to fix the issues. We can still pass pageable for now. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. So let's just go into here and let's fix this. So now this needs to be changed to local date time, and this is also going to return a list. So let's go and change those, save that. That's good. Now go to this related problem. Same thing here. This will be local date time. And this is already a list of posts. So now what we can do is say list post, following post, and then we'll just go ahead and return following post. We're going to have to experiment to figure out how to heck to get it to a page, but that's what we'll figure out. I just want to go ahead and get this working first. And then finally, we need to go and update the feed request DTO. So I know that we did all these changes earlier, but it is what it is. So change this to a local date time. Change that to a local date time, and this one to a local date time, that one to a local date time, save it, and that should be good to go. I don't know why this sticks around. Theoretically, this should be fine. We missed an ID somewhere, so colon ID, let's control find ID right there. Like I said, there's a good chance I'll miss some. Okay, I think I got all of the IDs now. Let's go and get rid of that. And let's get rid of this and let's rerun it. Like I said, good chance I missed an ID somewhere. This is the same exact content that was inside of our whatever it's called. So I would imagine that this will probably be fine. So let's see. Let's run. And there we go. Although that's 2308, 2402. I guess, yeah, that's after that. That makes sense. Let's go today. So we'll say 0403. And go this, we should see more. I'm making reply to summer. This was posted over an hour ago, but less than a day. And there should also be a repost by an author that is not summer. So let's see. Yep, 27. We don't follow that person, but summer reposted it. So you can see here that we're going to go through here and basically figure out who reposted it, because that's going to be something that's important, which actually might not need to. That's that. So that's kind of working. But now the issue is that we change this to a page post, and it's going to break everything again. So let's change this back to a page. I just wanted to show y'all that we got that working. So page post, save that, come back in here, make this a page post, and eventually this is going to return a page as well, but for now that's fine. following post dot get content. Save that. Let's refresh this, and I want to show you guys what happens next. Theoretically, it should break because we need to set up one more thing to get paging working. Once we get paging working, then we can map it to like a list here and do exactly what we want. We might also change this a little bit because we need to know the person who reposted it. So if it's a repost, then we need to set the person that reposted it because for the information. So that'll also be interesting. Let's go and get rid of that. So now let's go back into Postman and see what happens. It just worked. That shouldn't have just worked. Interesting. So that made our lives a lot easier. So there's that. So now let's go ahead and go into our FeedPostDTO. I think we have a private. Do we pass the whole user? Sure. Application user, repost user. We'll pass in the repost user, application user, repost user. Go ahead and say this dot repost user is equal to repost user, and we'll add a getter and setter and get rid of this toString. And if we need to add more, we will. So let's go ahead and generate a getter and a setter for this guy, and then go ahead and generate a toString for here. So now basically in our feed service, we have our page of posts here. So now I guess what we go ahead and do is we'll say list of. So now we want to, instead of returning a list of posts for get feed for user, we actually want to go ahead and return a feed post DTO. And let's go ahead and import this. So now there's going to be several things that we need to do. So let's just make this list of feed post DTO. All right, so now we need to map through this list of posts. So we're going to go ahead and say, I guess, feed post DTOs, maybe. That'll probably work, is equal to, and we're going to go ahead and say following post dot, we can just map them. And this will be a post. And we do want to go ahead and do this. Whoops, I messed that up. I didn't want to do equals. I wanted to do this. Maybe. And we will return, for now, we'll just return a new feed post DTO with nothing in it for now, just to kind of satisfy this. We might say dot and then two lists here. There we go. Cool. So right now, this is just basically mapping this to nothing. We want to map this to new things. We could do something really fancy here and try to make things complicated, or what we could go ahead and do is first we'll go ahead and say feed post DTOs. We'll return that. So basically I want to check, first we'll check to see if, whoops, so let's first say feed post DTO, and we'll say post DTO feed post DTO equal to a new feed post DTO. This is kind of suboptimal, but it is what it is. This would be nice if we had a builder probably. I guess let's do this. We'll go ahead and set the feed post, maybe DTO dot set post. So we already have the post, so we need to set the post there, and then we need to figure out if it's reply or whatnot. So we can go ahead and say feed post DTO dot set reply. So we can set whether it's a, do we have this? I just realized. Figure we'd have access to what it was a reply to, but we don't. We can set if it's a repost, which is going to be complicated. We can set this, so we can say post dot, so get following maybe. Okay, we need to get author dot get followers dot contains. We need to see if it contains us, although we can't use user in here, I don't think. No, we might be able to say user service dot get user by ID though, and say ID. I think that'd be fine, but if it doesn't work, it's fine. So if this is the case, it'll set true or false. I think that's fair because contains just returns a boolean. And then we can go ahead and finally say feed post DTO dot set, and then we want the repost user. So here we can go ahead and say feed post DTO dot get is repost question mark. If this is the case, then we'll go ahead and say post.getAuthor. Otherwise, we'll just set to null. We have one related problem, probably because it's returning something that's different. So here, instead of a post, we'll say FeedPostDTO. And here, this will also be FeedPostDTO. You know what? I don't think I actually returned the thing that I wanted to return. Feed service. Yeah, I didn't actually return the FeedPostDTO. So let's make sure we return this instead of returning that new one. Save that and let's rerun it again. So I guess for the repost or the reply, maybe we need to set the repost ID or something just to make it easier. Let's explore that after this. I just want to see what this looks like. Okay, so we have our post. We have reply, which is null. It's a repost is false and repost user is null because this is just straight up. Ooh, this should be reply, right? Yep. So this one's null because we couldn't figure out whether it's reply or not. Although this one is true, right? So maybe we need to figure out this. I'm thinking maybe we attach the original post ID there or something and just make our lives a little bit easier. So, okay, here. So this one's repost true. We have the repost user, which is summer. And we have, although we don't have the post, it doesn't look like. So let's see what's wrong with our repost logic. I think this should be not this. Maybe. Let's refresh. I think our query's correct. I think this logic's incorrect. We need to check to see if we do not follow the author, which is what we're doing here. Let's say and the post dot get author dot equals user service dot get user by ID. We're going to say not. So both of these. So if it's not in our follower list and it's not the current user that's logged in, let's try this. Let's see. I should probably simplify this a lot. And this one is 27. So this one should be a repost. You can see the repost in there. So reply true, repost is true, except this repost user should be, we need to filter a list of users and get like the first one or something, I guess. So let's do this. So instead of this, so if it's a repost, we're going to actually say post dot get, and this is going to get the repost dot, and then let's go ahead and stream dot filter. Maybe we want to get the followers again or something like that, but we want our followers. So we want the user service dot get user by ID dot, I think, get following. Get following dot contains and then user, except now we need to say user and do that. And then we need to say dot find first. And then what's the issue? So optional dot, and then I guess or else. I don't think we can throw though. I think we can just say dot get. I don't think we're gonna have an issue with it not being there because we already seen that it's a repost by one of our subscribers. I don't care. That's fine. Otherwise it'll be null. I guess we could just say dot or else, and then I don't know how this is. Maybe we can just say null. Is that how it works? Yeah. So this is a little bit gross, but basically what we're going to say is we're going to see if it's a repost. If it is a repost, we're going to get a user. Otherwise, we're going to do this. So is there a better way to do this? Probably. Do I care? No. Is it going to work? Who knows? So let's go ahead and reload this. Now, hopefully this gets a repost user probably. But now instead of repost user being this, we want to see repost user being summer. So let's reload this. This one is a repost. So repost user is summer. Cool. So now we need to deal with reply. So now what I'm thinking maybe is we go into our post. So let's go into post. So let's go ahead and, I guess, wherever our reply is, let's go ahead and say at 1 to 1. And maybe it shouldn't be a 1-to-1, but the way I can think of it, one reply will be mapped to one post, but maybe that's also incorrect. The other option that we could do is just integer and then do reply to. Let's see if this breaks or works. If it doesn't work, then we can go ahead and try something different. We're going to say mapped by equal to, and this can be reply 2. This will be interesting because this is supposed to be mapped to something else. Let's say reply ID. I'm guessing that's, or post ID. We'll map it to post ID, I guess. And we'll say fetch equal, this is lazy, but we'll put our eager because we're going to want it. And cascade is equal to, unless we cause an issue, but we're going to say that. And this will be a private post reply to. And is this going to work? I don't know. And maybe we need an at column on this. Column name equal to reply underscore to. I'm scared about this, so this will be interesting. Let's go into our getter for our this guy. So let's copy this and let's go ahead and make a new one. So new constructor. We'll go ahead and grab everything else, do that, and that is absolutely gross. Let's go to the bottom, deal with this. So go ahead and make a new and generate, and go ahead and generate getter and setter. I guess post ID, you know what, that's the post ID not having getter and setter is probably why it was still working on the front end, so that's something we need to look into. And then also let's do the toString. So delete this and we'll go ahead and generate toString. So the odds of the front end working are slim after this, but it is what it is. So save that. Whenever we create the reply, that's what's going to matter. And we might want to refresh or delete the replies out of our thing. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go into our data.sql, actually application.properties. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. We'll do this and we'll say true. And what else will we do? We'll also go ahead and say create dropped, and we're going to go and redo all of our data, and this should get rid of all the replies and everything. I'm wondering if it has to do with column not allowed on one-to-one. Okay, fair enough. Let's go into our post. We'll get rid of column on this one-to-one. We have a poll though, so I guess we have used it. It's at join column, I guess. So let's add at join column to this one-to-one. At join column. And then how does this join column work? Let's see, name and then reference column name. The reference column name will also be post ID. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see if this works now. I think this also makes a junction table, so I think this can be a mess of junction tables. Okay, it says no bueno on that. I guess the easy option will be to do this instead of a post. Make this an integer, and at column will be name equal to reply to. Is this a proper way to do this? No. Again, I don't really care. Whenever things are going to be difficult, I'm going to go ahead and do it in an easier way. Okay, now we should have two more issues down here. This will be integer. Either way, it doesn't hurt me because I just need to know how to get this post. So it can just be an integer if it wants to be difficult. Now if we run it, as long as I didn't miss anything, we should be okay. Let me see here. I might have broke this. Yeah, I broke this. Okay, let's refresh. There we go. Okay, it's just being a silly goose. So now we should have all of our data and everything, but there shouldn't be any reposts inside the table, and that's what I wanted to basically get rid of. Let's go ahead and give this a refresh just to make sure there's no repost. So 101, and then there's this one, but there's no repost. And if we actually go into our post repost junction, I guess there's still reposts, so I don't love that. Did I set those, or what's going on with this? This should have been refreshed. Okay, it's good. I guess let's try to make a repost, but we're gonna have to go into our post service and wherever we make our repost at. So here, so I think we have the original post. Or actually, no, we don't want repost. We want reply. So we should have the original post because it comes in the create reply DTO. So we can set reply dot set reply to post DTO dot get, and then this will be, there should be an original post, right? Oh, it's because I got the post DTO. We want reply DTO, or it's just called DTO. DTO dot get original post dot post ID is original post is already an integer. Perfect. All right, cool. We need to do the same thing here. Let's copy this And let's go down to our reply with media. Sitting there forever trying to figure out what the heck was going on, but it's already this. And then I guess it's reply post dot set this, and maybe this isn't DTO. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and refresh this again. And now let's go ahead and try to make a reply, and let's see what we can do here. Well, let's actually go into our feed post service where we create the reply, and I want to set the reply. So here, FeedPostDTO dot set, and this is going to be reply. So this is, I guess, the post that we're replying to. So we're going to say post.getReply question mark. So if it's a reply, we'll say post.get. We need actually post service. I don't know if we have a post service. We do. Terrific. Post service dot get post by ID, and this will be the post dot get, and this will be reply to, and then otherwise it'll just be null and give us another good old refresh. So this is kind of messy and gross, but it is what it is. It's going to be the easiest way to kind of map through the top 100 or 50 or whatever. So now if we come in here, when we get this, we shouldn't see any reply. Ooh, we'll get eels. So let's go into our post repository. So here, one of these is just returning a post, right? So we need to add key dot reply underscore 2 to this one. We need to set p underscore reply to our other select, this one. And is that all of them? That might be all of them. Okay, let's fix this. Is it not in the same order? It might not be in the same order. So I guess let's try to add this after reply restriction and see if that fixes it. That'd be a really stupid reason for this to be broken. And after reply restriction. Reply to, let's delete this reply to. Maybe it wasn't in the right order because one was integer and one was Boolean. But Garrett needs a new pair of shoes, so please be escalators. There we go, escalators. So if we reply, let's go into our postman. Let's make a reply and user ID 1, that's fine. Original post. Let's grab a random original post, I guess. Let's just grab like post 29. That's not anyone that we follow. I don't know why that says with media. And I'm just gonna say I don't agree or something. I don't know. Let's first hopefully, okay, that seems like it worked. Post 102 is replying to this. The author is me, so on and so forth. So now if we get our feed and it's, let's say 0404, because it's not going to pick mine up if we go at midnight. Don't agree. So now this is the post that will show. This is what we're replying to. And maybe I should name this reply to instead. That would make more sense. And then these two are just nothing. So I think I'm actually happy with that. I think that's working. The only thing I do want to do is I want to go into the FeedPostDTO. I want to rename this to reply to, just to make it a little bit easier, and reply to, and fix all these up. So get reply to and reply to, reply to, reply to, and reply to, and fix it in here. So reply to is equal to reply to. Now we just made a modification to the, whatever it's called, I can't think. We just made a modification to the toString inside the post. So post ID might work again inside the front end. So that's something we need to look out for. But let's go ahead and hop onto the front end and maybe we'll start working on this stuff. There's also a bug that I want to fix really quick if we hop into the front end. Okay, there's no feed coming through right now. And that might be because non-serialized 404 feed. Okay, so did we change anything with feed? We did. So now feed is a post request, so we need to just get feed working to begin with. So I guess let's do that. So come in here. Looks like there is in fact a feed slice, and right now we have payload, feed page, payload, and the feed page payload is a token and a user ID. So we still need this, need this. Now we need session start. Whoops. Start, which is a date. I don't know if it'll let me put a date in here. And then we also want the page, which is a number. Now we need to set this stuff. So I guess let's go into our feed page and we'll set it in there because we can't even see the issue, the bug that I wanted to fix until we do that. Feed.tsx. So here we have our use effect, and whenever we first load, let's go ahead and set up some use state. We don't have a use state, so let's set up use state. And let's go ahead and say that our const, and we'll say page, current page number, and set current page number. And this will be equal to use state, and this will be a number, and this will start out as 0. And then const, and we'll say session start. Whoops, start, and set session start equal to use state. This will be a date, and I wonder if we can do something like this. So return new date maybe. So then whenever this loads up, it will do that. So now we basically need to pass in. So I said page, right? So this will be current page number. And we also need session start, which will be just session start. That's fine. So whenever this first loads, we'll do this, and it might get called twice, but it's not going to really hurt anything. So now instead of this being a get, it's going to be a post. We're not going to have this anymore, and we need the body. So I guess we'll do this. This is kind of ugly, but it is what it is. So now the body, we need the user ID, I believe, which is payload user ID. We need the page, which is payload page, and we need the session start, which is payload session start. We'll make the post request and we'll get the feed. Now let me double check this. We want user ID session start page. That should be good. Page should start at 0. Now we're gonna need a fetch next page, or will we? No, we won't. We can just keep calling this, but with different data. So that should be fine. So now I'm curious. I'm gonna rerun this. I'm gonna refresh. It looks like it's just some broken stuff and error inside of post, but it looks like we might have gotten data back. Let's look in our Java to make sure it didn't error. So it looks like it did get 2024, the time 03:05:26, which is not the time. It's actually this, but it might be time zone stuff. So it is what it is. But something is broken inside of our post. And it's probably because now instead of getting this post stuff, which is coming from wherever, it's getting something else. So we're going to need to go ahead and instead of returning post from that, we're going to have to return like a feed post or something. Let's go into our global interfaces and let's make a new feed post. And also this might be able to be post ID again. We'll have to see what happens whenever we try to make a reply. But I guess let's not do that. Let's just go ahead and make a feed post. Export interface. And this will be feed post. And we want this to match our DTO. So I'm just going to look at our DTO again. So our FeedPostDTO has post, reply, repost, and repost user. Let's go ahead and just add these. So post is a post. Our reply to is a post. Our repost is a Boolean. So Boolean. And our repost user is a user. The reason why I did it this way is because whenever you repost, it just kind of shows the user there. And then whenever you reply, it shows the post you're replying to kind of below it. So that's the idea behind that. Now, of course, post is going to be completely broken because this just takes in like author and some other stuff. So this is coming from the post itself. So what we're going to do is this post now has different things on it. So now this post has post, reply to, repost, and repost user. So let's go into our post and let's just add these in here. So obviously we have our post, we have our reply to, and we might need to update this post props That's fine. We have our repost, and then we have our repost user. So this is mad because this is actually post will actually be a feed post. And then what is your problem? Duplicate identifier. So I guess we'll just call this, we wanted this in here actually. We'll break that up, delete this. And what is your problem? It's declared but never read. It's because actually I think we just want post, and we're going to make some changes. So maybe we call this feed post, copy this feed post, and then we can say const equal to, how do we do this? I forget how we do this. I'm getting tired. This would be post or const post reply to repost and repost user is equal to feed post. So we at least break it up a little bit. And now we can say like set current post. That's fine. So this will have to be post.author. This will be post.author. This will be post.author. This will also be post.author. This will be post.author. Now the thing is, we're going to change this post.author, which we're not going to do tonight. I just kind of want to get this set up tonight. Post.author, post.author. Well, actually what we could do is make like a component to go in here, I guess. This will be post.content, and we're missing one thing inside of our feed. Let's go into feed. Okay, so now this post should be, so now inside of our feed slice, this needs to actually return. So let's see here. So posts inside of our feed will now be a feed post. So let's change this. Feed post this, and let's import that. And now feed, this will be feed post, and it can still equal to post. That's not going to hurt anything. Do we see post? We see post again. Let's go. If we hit reply, post ID is back. That's what I thought. Now, where did we use post instead of post ID? It must be inside of our posts. So first off, it's in here. We change that to post ID, and then maybe this will break a bunch of stuff. So let's see here. There was something broken in here. Create post. That's not it. So this will be post ID. Looks like we're back. Save that. Cool. So there's that. So again, if we refresh, it'll, okay, we still have an issue. Feed post creator. I knew there's got to be something else, but it just wasn't popping up. So feed post creator. So we post ID, and maybe create reply too, right? Where's this at? Yeah, create reply body. I was gonna say probably in create reply too, but I'm not sure. There we go. Create reply body is also broken. So post ID, give it a refresh just to be safe. Okay, so I can try to reply. So let's say testing replies again with the new feed post system. Okay, seem to have worked. Let's refresh. Testing replies again with the new feed post system. So now the thing is, we need to basically be able to display when it's a reply. Whenever it's a reply, there's like a smaller version of the post underneath of it, and it's only like a certain amount of size as well. But also, let's take a look at this. So there should be a bug. Yeah, if you scroll over to the right, you can see that there's like a 0 here, and that goes to the bookmark. And I couldn't figure out why the heck it wasn't working. So let's go into our post, and down here inside of our bookmark, I think it's because there's no group on this. So what I might have to go and do is, we have this wrapper. It's the post action bar group. What if I did this? This could break everything. This might break everything, but let's just see what happens if we do this. Okay, so it doesn't quite work. It puts it on the wrong part. We might have to do something like this. Will we wrap this guy, div last name equal to this, and then wrap this div, copy this, paste that, We might have to do something like this. It's kind of ugly. Let's see if it breaks. Not broken. Well, I don't know why this says there's one bookmark. It's because this should be bookmarks.linked. There we go. Now that's probably going to overflow and stuff whenever it gets too big, so that's great. So we might want to add a little bit more space on that, but overall I think that's fine. I'm trying to think of what I actually want to do at this point. We can maybe get started on the small guy. So I actually took a screenshot, although I think I want one with just text currently. Let me see if I can find a reply with just text. Here we go, found one. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and then it says like show more. It looks like whenever you like have a reply, we're gonna want a reply with text and without text, and it's going to only show like 5 lines. If there's more than 5 lines, then we will show more, I guess, and kind of go from there. So let's see what we can do here. It's gonna reuse a lot of the post stuff, I think, because it's basically a post that gets cut off from the content and then also doesn't have some other stuff. So let's go ahead and make a reply. I'm gonna put it into post because it's still technically a post. So new folder, and I'm gonna call this reply. And I'm gonna make a new file, and this will be reply.tsx. Make a new file, reply.css. The width is going to be, I guess we won't worry about width. Let's just go ahead and import React from React. And then let's export const reply equal to a react.fc. We'll do this. We'll return a div with a class name. Let's actually do it this way for consistency's sakes. Div class name equal to reply. We're gonna have a lot of duplicate code again, so we might do some refactoring again. So I want to go ahead and say interface reply props. So this will have a reply, which is a post. We'll have reply to, which is also a, well, yeah, we'll just have the reply because the other stuff's going to be outside. So that's fine. We'll do that. How do I want to deal with this? Because this is basically a smaller version of a post. So I'm going to clear some stuff out here that I don't want and need. And what I'm thinking is we might do something like take this post left and post PFP and put it into its own thing. Same thing with this post right. This is the same exact thing. I might just YOLO it and just copy paste this post left and this, because this is all the same up to this point, including images, which I don't even see images on this post. So that's going to be fun. We also have to display any images that we might have. So I'll have to deal with that. I guess let's do this. We'll do post right and post left, except this will be reply left and reply right. So this will be reply, if I could type reply left, reply PFP. So this, we need to bring in the props. So I'll go ahead and say reply props, and this will be reply. And now this will be reply dot author. This will be reply dot author or PFP. So we need to bring in the PFP, import PFP from all the way back in our assets. So let's go back to assets / default PFP, and this will be reply dot author username. Okay, and then post right, it's going to be pretty similar. So we'll have a post top right, which has all of this posted date and all of this. It's not going to have more on it, so we can delete the more. Let's copy this again. Probably better to refactor this a little bit. It is difficult to refactor this though, just because the nature of the CSS. So this would be reply.nickname, reply.author.verified. We'll go ahead and bring in verified. Maybe let's bring in the verified icon from up here. Verified icon. Okay, we're going to do more of these, so that's fun. And then this will be reply. For the time being, this will probably work. Reply reply. We need to bring in the circle icon, which again will come from here. Let's bring in circle icon. Copy this guy, paste him in here, and this will be reply. We bring this guy in. This will be reply dot posted date. More horizontal. We also need to bring in from in here. Although no, we don't need more horizontal. We're going to get rid of that. So this is our top right. And honestly, we could probably just keep these all named the same because these are all going to go inside of whatever it's called anyway. The post, these will all be coupled with the post. So now we got this. And then what we'd have is the bottom right. So we have our post content. So post content is going to be slightly different because we need to figure out how many lines of content there are. We need to cut it off with ellipses and then do some other stuff. But let's just go ahead and paste this post content in. So paste this here and let's go ahead and bring this in. And this will be reply.content.post. And then let's see what happens. So below this is where we could have like this, and we can say like reply to question mark. So there, if this is a reply basically, then we'll go ahead and make a reply, and then the reply would equal to reply to. And I don't think it brought in the right reply, so that's cool. What did it bring in? Not even close to the right thing. Cool, thank you. I bring in the right thing. Bring in reply from here. So this is gonna look awful. Yeah, but now you can see we have this, and I want to try to do this. So inside reply, let's go ahead and change all these back to post. So post, post left, post right. Yeah, and that's basically what it looks like. Now the thing is, reply has a border around it. This will be reply, and let's grab this and let's go into this, and let's import our /reply.css. Laziness for the win here. Do this. So I think this width will be 100%. We'll just let it take up the space. We'll go ahead and say border 1px solid, and we want like the light gray color. So let's go into our app.tsx. We'll grab light gray, copy this, paste that light gray. We want a border radius, let's say like 8 pixels. It's not very big. I want to say height fit content for now, and then we'll kind of figure out how to do the cutoff. And we probably want display flex, justify content, flex start, align items, flex start, and then adding 0 and margin 0. And this should allow us to have a border around it with a radius. We might need to update the radius, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what these look like. The font size is way too big, I think. So we might want to set the font size, and it looks like it's kind of smushed a little bit. So reply, the post PFP. So this reply PFP should probably be a little bit smaller. So we might need to do a little bit of work. Now the last thing under here, we need to figure out when to put a show more. So there's like a span. It could probably just be a p tag. Class name equal to, and this will be like reply show more, and this will say show more, and this will be blue. So whenever we need to show more, we'll have that there. And obviously we want to style that up. So we need to figure out how to calculate when to do that. I think this is good. This is looking pretty well. And if we like this one and refresh, let's make sure we can see as the like pops up. Okay, we never set up liking and reposting, I don't think. No, so let's do that. But this part's working. So let's quickly, before we wrap up the episode, let's go ahead and go into our post slice, and let's set up reposting and the other thing, reposting, liking, and the last one, which I can't think about, bookmarks. Yeah, so let's go into our post slice, and we're gonna make these just really quickly here. So we need export const, and we'll call this repost post maybe, and we say equal to create async, whoops, thunk. Okay, I always forget to do this. This will be called post slash repost, and then we'll say async. We'll pass in a body. I don't know what we need. We'll have to take a look at this. And then I think it's thunk API, right? Thunk API. Okay, so let's see what we need. Let's go to our postman. So for repost, it's a put mapping that has a header, and then it says 11, and I think that's it. Yeah, so we need the user ID or the post ID, and we need the authorization header. So body will be, let's say this will be create action or something, interface post action, because all of these are the same. And we'll say post action body. And this needs a post ID to the number, and this needs a what's it called, token, which is a string. So now we can take our post action body and come down here and make sure we pass the post action body here. This is gonna be pretty simple. What we'll say is let request equal to await axios.put, and then we're going to put to http://localhost:/post/repost/ curly brace body.post ID, and then we'll say headers, and then authorization is bear, and that, and then we'll say return rec.data. This should be a try catch, so we'll try this. Why did that get confused? I don't know. Catch E and return thunk API, reject with value E, and we'll paste that. That's better. Cool. So that's reply. Let's export const, and this will be, let's repost. So this will be like post equal to create async thunk. Do the same thing. So this will be post slash like, and async, and this will be body, will be a post action body, and we'll have our thunk API again. Again, I'm not going to go through all the motions. I'm not going to worry about it failing or anything. If it fails, whatever. Let request equal to await axios.put. And this is going to be basically the same thing. http://localhost:/8000/ this would be like, or post/like, and / curly brace body.post ID. So we want to like that post, and then we'll have our headers again, which are have our authorization with bear. So just going to grab this, and then we will return our rec.data, and then here we'll catch E, and then we'll say return thunk pi.reject with value E. We'll do one more. Export const bookmark post equal to create async thunk, and this will be post/bookmark, and here we'll have async. Once again, our body will be a post action body. We'll have our thunk API. Do the same thing. Try and catch. So catch E, and we'll return thunk API. Reject with value E. And then here we'll let request equal to await axios.put and http colon / localhost colon 8000 /post /bookmark / curly brace body.post ID. It's gonna be so fun when none of these work. We need to set the headers, so let's remember to do that. Headers will be authorization and bearer. Cool. And then we will return rec.data. So now we just need to set up repost, like post, and bookmark post. So like I said, I'm just gonna do these. I'm just gonna do the fulfilled here. I'm not gonna worry about pending right now. So let's just go to the bottom of fulfilled. And maybe tomorrow we'll do the other stuff. So pending. So this will be repost dot fulfilled state action. So we want to set up so that it modifies the current feed in place. So we need to figure out how to do this. I'm gonna make a to-do because tonight is not tonight. But that's why it's not working, because the list is different. But let's go ahead and say state is equal to .state, and then we'll go ahead and say let's just return states so we get these set up, and then we will come back through with a more clear mind and get it working. So this would be like post, and then we will have our bookmark post. So that should at least make the request return the state back. Again, we're going to add to do just so that it actually modifies the feed. This, I don't know how we're going to do because the feed is technically something different. So I need to brainstorm on how we're going to do that. So now on our post, we need a bunch of dispatchers. So we already have dispatcher. I believe we do because we have an app dispatch. So we have toggle reply. We have convert count. We don't. I guess reply happens in there. Let's say const and we'll say repost, I guess, equal to this. And we will dispatch our repost post. And this needs a post ID, which we can get from, I believe we can get from post ID. And we need the user, the token, which we do not have. So we'll need to get the token. Let's go ahead and bring in use selector. And we also, I guess we'll just bring it in. That's fine. Repost is broken. I don't know what's wrong with the repost, but I'll deal with it later, I guess. Const. This will be const. I guess I'll just call it token. Equal to use selector. State, we need to bring in the root state, bring that in. State.user.token. Seems like it's fine. Bring this in. And this will be token. Oh, we'll say create repost. Grab this create repost. And now we need our repost outline. Let's add the on click here, I guess. On click is equal to create repost. So let's save that. Let's see if this works. Let's refresh. We click on this one. Refresh. 0 reposts. Okay, so that did not work. Is the body not, is this not right? Do we need to do like an empty object here? Is that the issue? Like, do we need an empty object? Okay, we need an empty object in there. That's kind of silly, but oh well. Copy this. Let's go ahead and add into our like post as well. And our bookmark as well. Go back into our post. So now let's copy this. And let's go ahead and create a like. So create like. Now this will be like post. Post ID token. Let's go ahead and say create bookmark. create bookmark. And I don't know why that said like post, but okay. And this will be bookmarked post. Bring that in. I don't love how it does that, but okay. So now we have a reply, we have a repost. Let's do our like. So on click equal to create like, and then let's go down to our views. We'll leave alone our bookmark. On click for our bookmark. Now this one we probably need to be careful, because we could accidentally click on stuff we don't want to, but oh well, I guess. So now let's refresh. Okay, there's a repost here, and I think the union is basically hiding it since it's already here. That's why if we like, no error, we refresh, it's good to go. We bookmark, we refresh. Cool. That's all there. Now we need to figure out how the heck we're going to update the feed. That's the biggest thing. And maybe these should point back to, instead of post, maybe they should go to the feed or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, the stream's been going on a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you watched to this point in the video or the live stream, thank you so much. If you left a like, comment, or subscription during the live stream or the video, also appreciate you. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to hopefully continue tomorrow, where we're going to continue working on the reply. We need to make some changes to make this a little bit smaller. So I guess this does need to be a little bit special, as well as figuring out how to cut off this text. We also need to figure out how to actually show images on the regular post and a couple other things. So I appreciate you all for watching. This has been Ethan Uncoder. Have a great night or day, morning, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out. Have a good one.